Hi tubers, and a very warm welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are returning, thank you so much for watching again. And if you're a first time here, if it's your first time here, please do subscribe, like, share this video, and definitely leave a comment right below. So tubers, today I really want to talk about a very interesting topic. It's been lingering in my mind for quite some time, but also it has been inspired by this here video that I'm about to show you. In fact, two videos that I would like for you to see, and then let's comment on the comment section right below. So in this past couple of days, right, I've seen this video making rounds on social media, and it just became a pressing issue for me because I just had to bring it on this platform so that we can talk about it, we can break it down, and most definitely we can share our opinions on it. So I saw a video, I don't know if you guys know, but I saw a video of Jo-Anne Reyneke. I think I'm saying her surname correct. She's a very good South African actress, and by good, I mean she's amazing. I just recently watched one of her works on Netflix. I think it's called Bad Influencers. She is amazing. When I tell you this lady can act, we are talking about top tier South African actresses here. So she did, a few days ago, she had an interview with Panuel on his show where she was sharing her experiences and views on marriage. Did these social media streets not break this lady down into pieces for sharing what was her opinion and what her view was on marriage? But before we can go any further, I just want for us to watch this video, and we will break it down a little bit later.
Your third thing that you consider your biggest challenge or failure, what would that be? And the lessons learned from that?
The non-success of my relationship. The one that everybody thought we were married, the father of my kids.
Oh, okay.
We were together for 10 years and planned a beautiful big future, and this was it for me, and I was happy with his flaws and his good stuff. This is the guy I'm gonna suffer for. And I think because you put that on you initially, when you see that it's really not working out, you hold on to that, and there's so much advice that we hear, which a man can change, but sometimes you have to be there for him to change for you. 10 years in, I was just like, this I'm going to fail at. I'm going to fail at this, and I think it's best I fail at this, because either my kids will have unhappy parents that are together or happy parents separate. And I chose happy parents because you can't teach happiness, you show it. So I needed my kids to see me genuinely happy.
Absolutely.
So that they know what that looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For instance, I don't believe in marriage. Angufuna umshado, nala uhambe khona ngaze ngashada, angisoze ngashada nje. Yabona,
You've never believed in marriage?
No.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever. I think my biggest mistake in my previous relationships was not mentioning that soon enough, not early enough. Now I've learned it's a first day conversation.
So there were uncommunicated expectations.
Yeah.
Do you think this is also trauma from like your mom, Mrs. Reyneke, now, even though they're
I
not
just
together
never
anymore?
saw umshado ongichazile mina ekhuleni kwami. All the married women were lesser than their men. They were almost shadows. They were less than people. And ngisho lento yokotiza ukuthi ugirl oyokotiza kabhuti, but ubhuti akayi kocenta ekhaya, akayi ko-extend umuzi, akabiyeli, sakhela yena islave. Kuthengwa mina, imina oshintsha isibongo sasekhaya sesikhulisa obani. So in my head, those notions have always been there. And I do believe, though, that there are people made for marriage. Like my best friend, for instance. We've been best friends 27 years. And Loanto Mazane, from head to toe, built for marriage. And luckily has found her perfect man, who's also exactly they are too.
They're both happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ngizometronela loyana, everything she needs in her marriage. I will support that marriage, but not for me. Not for me. And that's not to say now abantu bangashadi ngoba ngithi umshado unje nje nje. Just for Jo-Anne, angiboni inzuzo yomfazi emshadweni.
You're a real feminist, like OG feminist.
Okay.
It sounds like you're for yourself, because you're saying it's not for everyone.
Very,
it's for
very
me.
individual.
You're not big on traditionalism.
Ha.
You think it's largely, in your opinion, oppressive to women?
Yeah, or maybe it's just loku mina engikhule ngikubona. Angikhulanga ngibona any of my malumes ever cooking for their wives. Ngikhumbuli u-auntie engena ezo-boaster ukuthi naloko sengiphindile ke futhi zonke lo yayana mina ngizombulala lo egele.
And it still baffles me to this day how when a man chooses to be single in their in their 30s, be it its early 30s, mid 30s, or late 30s, whatever it is, it baffles me how when they choose to be single and not bring umakoti back home, then he's a focused man, you know, he's a man with ambition, he's a man who's trying to build a life for himself. Well, why is the same not said about a woman who's also single? Maybe it's just something that they don't want for themselves. Maybe this is a choice they've consciously made to say, I don't want to be a part of this, right? But society really has double standards when it comes to men and women who choose not to be involved in a marriage setup. But I like that Jo-Anne speaks of this confidently, because I think a lot of women who've watched this interview that can also resonate, or that can relate to what she's saying, they can confidently move forward with their lives to say, guys, it's not all of us that want this. But I think as South Africans, we just need to be a little bit more advanced and a little bit more open-minded to those women that make these decisions to say, I don't want marriage for myself. We need to be a little bit more open-minded about those. This whole notion and narrative of a woman who is marriage, it symbolizes stability. It symbolizes adulthood. It symbolizes smart. You are a woman of value. These things, it's not always true. There are successful women who've made it in life. They're not married. They don't want to get married and will probably never get married. They're successful. They have their own shit happening for themselves. They have their own shit under control, and they probably don't want to get married. Society needs to look at those women the very same way they would look at a woman who's married. All I'm saying is, I think as a country, maybe a society as a whole, we still have a long way to go when it comes to respecting a woman's decision to say, I respect people that are in these unions. I just respectfully do not want it for myself. Let's just stop this pressure of wanting to put these women under some sort of a microscope to say something is wrong with them. Something is wrong with you as a woman if you choose to not want this concept for yourself. Well, it's amazing that you choose that for your own life. That's the choice you want to make. It's the decision you want to take for yourself. But do not impose it onto me. There is a lot of that happening. There's a lot of that going around. You know, there's a lot of that whole wanting to impose your opinions on what adulthood must look like to other people that choose different for themselves. People make choices all the time. When are we ever going to get to a point where we are accepting of it? When are we going to get to a point where we are receptive of the fact that a person can wake up tomorrow and decide, I don't want to be in a relationship with the opposite sex. I want to live my life as a gay person or as a lesbian person. I want same-sex marriage for myself, or I don't want kids. I prefer not to have kids because I don't want to take on the responsibility of taking care of another human being. Not because I'm selfish, but because it's something that I choose for myself. Same as women that wake up and say, I don't want this for myself, right? I respect it from a distance. It looks nice. I respect people that make the decision and the choice to want to be in these unions. I just don't want it for myself. I feel there just needs to be a mutual level of respect for people that choose to not want these things for themselves. I thoroughly enjoyed this interview. If you haven't, go and watch it. It's on the Panel show. It's on the Panel podcast. Me personally, I enjoy everything and anything that has to do with this lady. And this interview thoroughly stood out for me because it spoke to me. I related, I resonated, and I said, ma'am, I am glad I'm not by myself. It's quite a relief to know that there are actually women that speak openly about this, that say, I don't want marriage. Can women say that confidently? Can women say that loudly and proudly without being labeled bitter, without being labeled lonely or scorned, or they've been betrayed way too many times in their previous relationships, and therefore they preach this to other women to influence other women to not want parts in a marriage? Can we just stop that as society? Can we just get on this train of understanding? But most importantly, can we get on the train of respecting the next person's views on life? Your views are not my views. I will not see the world the same way you see it, because my experiences are different from yours. What I've went through in my life has tainted the way I see life, right? It's crazy because ooh, child, when I talk about my personal experiences, it'll take a whole day, right? But I was once in a relationship with a guy, right? The relationship was beautiful. It was amazing. I saw this person as someone that I can make it to the altar with if there was that for me. Now, this was back still at the time where I saw it for myself. Because remember, I didn't just grow up and woke up one day that I don't want marriage. But growing up, I obviously I didn't have a beautiful or a perfect reference of it. So it's something that I kind of wanted for myself as a kid. But the more I grew up, it mostly started happening. It was hugely impacted, or rather influenced, right now in my mid-20s. I got into relationships with men that kind of made me believe in it. Like, they were so amazing of a partner to me that I kind of thought to myself, look, I wouldn't be mad at all if this person proposed and we got hitched. Like, there was a time, if I'm being honest with you, there was a time where I wanted it for myself. But obviously that view, that whole concept kind of got tainted along the way, because when I saw that as a woman, I am never going to be an equal to a man. And I just had to come to terms with that. And I just had to accept reality that in this world, women are never going to get viewed like men are viewed. And if I make that conscious decision or choice to want to get married with a man, it's never gonna serve me as much as I want it to serve me. Now, that might sound a little bit selfish, but I can be a little bit selfish at times when it comes to me, right? There are just things about me that I don't play with. So when I get into these relationships, there are men that I would get in relationships with, and I'd look at them and think to myself, oh, he's perfect. Or even if they were not really perfect, but they would be so amazing of a partner that I would not be reluctant to get into a union with them. If opportunity presented itself and I could be married to this person, yes, there were those men in my life I looked at and I thought, you know what, not too bad at all. I can definitely do umchado nalo mntu. But I remember I once was in a relationship with someone that, right towards the end of a relationship, because now the cracks were starting to show, right? The cracks were being visible so much that at points, whenever we had a debacle or a back and forth, this person would say to me, this is why, they would always dangle their marriage card in my face, right? They will dangle the marriage card to my face. This is why I can never make you a wife, because of this and that and that. You must allow me to lead in a relationship. You must allow me to play the role of a man. This is why I have to think twice about taking you as my wife. Sir, where in the world do you get the audacity to dangle the married card to my face, to make it look like my whole entire life is based off of the fact that if I don't get married, I'm gonna die? That if I don't get married, things are gonna crumble and I'm gonna crumble and fall apart. It was crazy to me that from time to time he dangled that card in my face. every single time I did something that he didn't completely agree with, or every single time I questioned the decisions we were making in the relationship, or every time I was opposing to what he was saying and didn't really go along with it, then he would dangle this whole, I'm a man and therefore I'm the leader, which, by the way, I'm not gonna lie. If I get in a relationship with you, you'd better be a leader. But also, your leadership skills must not come with you reminding me every 2 seconds of the day that you're the leader of the relationship and therefore whatever you say is right. It's still a union at the end of the day. It's still companionship. We need to make decisions together as a couple. We still need to sit down as a couple, and some decisions we need to come to head to them together as a union. So yes, do I want a man who's going to take lead in a relationship? Hell yeah. But do I want a man who's going to remind me every 2 seconds that they are my leader and I need to go with what they're saying? Fuck no. Hell no. Absolutely not. So he would dangle this married card to me so many times that it eventually became a thing to say, sir, you need to stop with this nonsense, because at this point, I don't even think I want to marry you. Hell, I don't even think I want marriage at all. So it was crazy to me. It also let me know that men really, really have this misconception that when we get into relationships with them, that's the end goal for all of us. Sometimes if you communicated with your partner, sometimes if you and your spouse or your partner have an understanding of what you're doing, you will come to understand that, or you'll come to know rather, that there are these conversations that take place in relationships, and a woman comes forward and says, I don't want marriage for myself. I don't want it for myself. And it's completely fine. It doesn't mean that this woman is bitter or something bad happened to them or something horrible happened to them. It just means that they don't see it for themselves. And that is completely okay. That is completely okay to come to that decision or choice. Anyway, tubers, if you haven't already, please do subscribe, like, share, but definitely leave your comments below, because I know a lot of you want to get married. If what I'm saying doesn't really align with your thoughts or views or opinions, share that. You want marriage? Look, sis, go ahead and get married. We love it for you, right? But leave your comment on the section below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Do not forget to subscribe, because a lot of you watch my videos but you don't subscribe. So it would be amazing and awesome and definitely a beautiful thing for me if you were to subscribe. Please press the notification button to get notifications every single time I drop a video. Thank you so much, tubers. See you on the next one.